teams went head-to-head to decide who got the first seed coming out of NA. It went all the way down to the final map, Haven, all the way down to the final round after a ridiculous comeback from the Guard, and Sireplayer hit a 1v3 to be able to close it out for them. So when I say it was close, it was insanely close. And both of these teams have been looking hot on this map. OpTic have made that slight adjustment since then to bring in the KO. They ran that in their previous game too. But I think this is so much about what value Victor is able to achieve.
That's the storyline, I think. Couldn't agree more.
If he plays like he did in that second game against Surreal, this might be all wrapped up in 2.
Yeah, and Victor on the Neon as well. I mean, they've pulled it out to Roller. He's been playing more and more of. Yay.
It's a great start.
Yeah, tries to play in the corner. Quick little whip around. Victor's taken out as well. Luckily, the trade was there as Crashes was watching it, but still going to be moving into this one with a player disadvantage. And the Guard setting up those post plants. You can see it. Jonah P just holding a piece of utility, either the flash or the aftershock, something in line.
Yeah, he's ready to pop this. Looks like off the contact from Trent.
Crashes up top.
Got a flash coming out.
Knife in the pot flash. Crashes wants to try and capitalize, but Jonah P, he's healthy. Takes him out. Mark now just trying to go for the double swing here, but FNS is left alone. Just a 1v3 with a Paranoia and a swing. Great timing of that one. The Guard.
It's a good start.
Win.
It's a good start. It gets the confidence flowing. It gets the Guard believing that they can make the comeback. And it's a good start for Trent as well. 2-0. Didn't have as much impact as perhaps we were hoping on Icebox. This is, I think, more of his comfort territory where he can really show us whether he's able to live up to all of that hype that we have for him. We know he's an incredibly talented player, but we spoke to him in an interview and he said, listen, I know that I'm going to be nervous when I get up there for the first time because he's realistic. That is what these guys are going through. I know. He's
17 years of age.
One of the youngest players at the tournament, one of the least experienced, one of the most talented. Here comes Victor going for a really fast play, but that's a team flash. Is it? No,
wow.
In fact, I think it was a counter flash coming out from Jonah P.
Counter flash comes out from the Guard, just absorbing the aggression. I mean, listen, I really do love that. Just anticipating that an aggressive play was going to get cooked up by OpTic.
Yeah, lovely.
And being able to instantly answer back.
You need that, right? And Sireplayer just caught a flash of Ye there for a moment. I think this is going to give him even more confidence to start going up towards C. The dog might actually feel that finesse there.
It does do damage. Direct I think it's like 30, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does enough. It does enough. Anyway, a bit of a spray through with the run and gun, Spectre in hand.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, Marv. Okay, Marv. Okay.
He knows he's not going to win that.
He knows he's not going to win it. Might as well just spend your time just, you know, crouching repeatedly over your enemy's body. Why not?
You know, Brent, something that doesn't get talked about enough, it's about half a mental game.
Sure.
You know, performing in these kind of matches is all about your mentality. If Marv can, you know, knock you down a couple of pegs early, then maybe that is
That's a win for him.
Yeah, maybe it is. But the actual rounds on the board are going for the Guard, and they've got a decent bonus economy heading in here. You know, a couple of Sheriffs, a couple of Spectres. They can certainly do some level of damage. Looks like OpTic is set up for early A-lobby control. This is their standard. They're going to be throwing down a smoke, using the stun from Neon, trying to control A-lobby early. Yeah. And they've got this lineup too for the KO nade.
Ooh, that nade is massive.
It's so good. The KO nade comes up over the top, through the roof, and lands there to stop anybody taking A-lobby on the attack.
An instant response there. Sireplayer dashes them straight onto B. They realize that the A-lobby control probably not going to be in the cards.
Spike planted.
Pick up onto Net. I think Net was just trying to catch the lurk up
One
into B with
remaining.
the spike down. Gonna be left alive. Only the Sheriff in his palms, and that is not enough. Not when Ye is watching the angle.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get the defuse here. Very easy refutation of the bonus round coming through from the Guard.
Flawless.
And we start things off in a pretty normal manner. That's a prime game in Flawless for OpTic. They keep all 5 of their Vandals on board. And for OpTic, yeah, they had to deal with a little bit of tempo there, as the Guard immediately went from A-lobby fight to running into B. But it wasn't too difficult for them. The Guard are going to throw in quite a few of those B hits. It's one of the ways in which they play their attack half. They're not afraid to go for B plants, which a lot of teams steer away from. But this A-lobby control is going to be such a theme of this map. Yeah. And it's the exact same setup here for OpTic.
You're going to see different approaches as well. Some teams, when they're playing against the Neon, they have different ways. This time around, the Guard are just waiting it out.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, if they're going to use all of that utility, the guard can wait and slowly try and retake that area later. This is such a patient, disciplined opening to the round by the guard, but they don't have very much map control as a result of it.
Yeah.
Gonna flash, make sure there's nobody pushed up deep in mid, and then it looks like Trent's gonna use his dog to be able to clear short, long, or perhaps they're going for a bit of a contact re-clear. Victor will see them.
Yeah, I think they want to regain this A-long control, the stun to push Victor off the angle. If they can regain control of this orb as well, it's going to be able to give Trent the Seekers now. The tool, another ultimate they can use. Quick clear there. Trent with the Trailblazer. Up top, though, that does spot Marv. He sends out the utility, still wants to hold it down, dodges the flash. Trent is going to be able to try and win it, but the spray down. Marv is ready for it. A quick dash shift to the side. Sire player is on point. Valen as well, close behind him.
Valen does amazingly there. Victor with the swing, trying to trade him out. Valen's good for 2. 3v2 in the post plant here as Ye Crashies come to see if they can get the job done. Flash allows Ye to drop down. Not good enough. Crashies left in a 1v3.
Yeah, Crashies does take out one of the targets, tries to make the swing. But Net, that's a shutdown for him. And
if we want to talk a little bit about how the guard approached that from a macro sense, they didn't really throw too many looks towards B or C at all on that round. They had the stun, the fault line that went towards A, and then they essentially just committed to the site. Here's that trade that I was talking about. Valen manages to take out Victor, as Victor has a wonderful timing on it. Nothing wrong with how the guard how OpTic played that. Yeah. But Valen finds just the perfect moment to reset his aim and take out Neon.
And I do want to focus on Victor as well coming into this one, because he has had that resurgence in performance, especially after the initial loss that OpTic had in this tournament. But sometimes his value on the Neon as well, especially on Haven, can be hit or miss.
I think it's the defensive side that usually ends up being a miss. He's pushed deep in mid right now.
Just clear him out.
Stunned.
He has to use the flash lane to try and escape, running around the smoke. Bit of coverage for him. Lucky to survive.
Just gets out, and FNS has used both flashes and knife right now to try and bail him out and provide some level of distraction. He's the only player that's playing really towards Garage. As OpTic give up B, give up both connectors. 3-stack over on A. They don't have any info. They're having to use Sky's dog just to re-clear short and give them some kind of timing.
That comes through, quick little dodge, and that means the Seekers are still in play, but Kaonade is great at splitting up Sire player. Anyone from OpTic able to disrupt it? Not quite. It's going to be control of the B side taken with the spike down now. The post plants can start to be played, but it looks like OpTic trying to play a bit fast there with the flash that was sent in.
The garage push here would be phenomenal decision-making by the guard, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. Trent taking that area of the map, backing out of it for the moment. If you just try and spam this post plant, it ends up being such RNG a lot of the time.
Caught in the fault line.
And Marv's behind them.
Yeah, surely the smoke's going to fade with the trademark ticked off. They got to know that Marv is currently flanking, but is anybody watching it? Pushing through the players. Far too many from the guard, just watching that one sight line. And, yeah, unfortunate for Marv, honestly, just
got caught in the trademark.
Making himself aware from the trademark, right, when he was trying to flank.
Yeah, his flanks were amazing on Icebox, and he just didn't quite catch the timing there. Valen, you can see him pinging it out for the rest of his team, and they do manage to just catch the player that was on the defuse. Popping off as well. The guard's starting to gain some momentum here. 4-1 up, and they've broken the economy of OpTic. This is certainly the start that they were looking for. They got a good start to the second half on Icebox, and it certainly feels like those early jitters that we saw might be cooling off a little.
I think that's evident just from how much the guard have been slowing down the start of these rounds. At the beginning of Icebox, we didn't really see too much of that from.
Yeah, it was a little rushed.
That's quite nice though.
Starts one off. Valen, he got headshot by something early on in the round.
Here.
And Crashy's crosshair placement's actually pretty decent for where Net was playing, but now he repositions himself, backs out, and Net has garage control. He's going to tell Sire player to meet up with him. Looks like the push is going to pinch through C.
Oh my goodness, yay! You can always count on him, man. You can always count on him to turn around these rounds. They have no right winning. Obviously, it was FNS who got that opening, but Ye's the one who's re-clearing. Now the Trailblazer, they spotted him. They know where he is, and they want to try and play aggressively right around the corner. Regaining the rifles, taking them out from their opponents here, but Jonah Peters timing the swing coming straight through into C. And now Trent, he's being pressured. The paranoia. It's a lovely little combination of utility from OpTic and Crashies. Nice aim, thrifty win for OpTic.
What a spectacular round. It's Ye's tour de force that really makes it work. Bren, they pop that a lot on eco rounds. Oh, Net's elbows just took out, but it's the kill on Sire player that's the spectacular one, just as he's slinking around the door.
Yeah.
They pop that quite a lot on their eco rounds, and they still have a 64% win percentage whenever Ye uses tour de force. That's higher than their normal like gun round win percentage. It's crazy. What Ye is able to do with that weapon is absurd.
You want to play? Let's play.
Powerful agent, but in the hands of Ye. See this fast approach now being taken here by the guard. VALORANT actually sticks his ultimate. He's up in heaven. Has to be recleared now by OpTic.
But all of the pace of that was taken out by FNS's knife. The 0 point caught onto Sire player and removed his jet knives.
Quick little TP. He's lucky that nobody was watching that sideline.
Spike planted.
Could have been disastrous for him. Deeper flash now. Trailblazer.
The dog gets so deep.
Catches onto Trent, and now you see the engagement. OpTic, they've committed so much utility straight out of it. Victor, he's in the fight. He's in the thick of it. And the rest of his team follows up beautifully.
That Sire player, he just
can't
can't
do
use his
anything.
ultimate. The Blade Storm completely offline, only just now coming back.
And he's got a hell of a task ahead of him. Quick dash in. Kills the diffuser, but not enough. Yay. So consistent. As hairy as that was, man. OpTic going to be taking that one away. That was so close.
That was wild, especially considering that Sire player only had his Blade Storm online for, what, a quarter of the round? Getting hit by a 0 point early and then FNS's ultimate itself. But this is so good by Victor. That's because of how much information Crashy's got with his dog. The dog went running on in, woof woof, sees everything, and there's just a single player at default.
Yep.
What's that, Lassie? There's one player at default?
Yeah, that was sublime from Victor as well. Just when I was talking him up as well to have that good performance, but again, an injection, the tempo increased. The guard not wasting any time as Sire plays dashed all the way into the side. Pop flash from FNS, doesn't catch onto any players, but again, the dog just pointing and giving all that information. Still Sire player wants to try and take command along with Jonah P, but they're a little bit out of sync, and no one has dealt with Marved at the back of the plat. Still holding it down, but the flash is immense. The door! You've got to be kidding me!
It's absolute filth from Victor. That is another. That's another 1v2, Bren. I mean, just chalk it up. Another one on the stats. They lined up perfectly for him, but they had no idea where Victor was positioned. And from the guard's perspective, I love how they cleared Marved out from the back here. They took a moment, used the Sky Flash.
He triggered the trademark on the flank.
I'm not even sure that Victor knew there was another player there. He's shooting a
shooting the one.
Gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
Fortune smiles upon him
Blessed by God for a moment.
as OpTic tie things back up at 4 apiece. And then, Fortune giveth, Fortune taketh away.
I feel like this tournament has had so many of those moments.
Just kills through the
Vandal,
smoke.
yeah, running with a Vandal, spraying through the smoke, getting a random headshot.
Of course, it's part of the game. It's all part of the game.
Time dog goes down, but Rolling Thunder committed into this round here. This is a half buy for the guard. TPing into a close angle, and immediately look at the guard just backing away into this round, committing ults into it.
Ye has a feeling that it's going to be a C-split, and I think he'd be correct. Net still on the lurk. Ye almost peeked it for a moment there. Flash catches him for a second. As Net finds a pick and the Seeker's blind, Ye.
The Seekers give so much information. Net knew exactly where Crashies was and picks that one up as well. Remember, this is a half buy for the guard. They're currently leading. They've got the player advantage. With a better weaponry, they still have a chance to try and swing it around. But no, they're just saving. They're just going to the complete opposite side of things.
Wow.
Saving against a half buy.
Saving. I mean, a 3v5 save, I'm all on board for. 3v5 save against the Eco is some serious level of respect. You look at their economy, FNS with only 500 credits, Marved with only 100, Ye with an operator, of course, that you wouldn't really be able to rebuy.
Yeah.
So I think this is the smart decision.
I do think that's a smart decision, yeah.
At the end of the day, Net's lurk and Trent's ultimate get them so much value. What are we up to here?
I don't know. Maybe exchanging guns.
Yeah.
Just checking out the skins.
Marv's got a little smile on his face.
Yeah. Probably saying what you're working with.
Thrifty.
They're not going to get hunted down by anybody. The guard would love to take weapons out of their hands, but they're just too far away. And Brent, something I've been following a storyline throughout North American Valorant and now heading into Masters Reykjavík. That is a ridiculous shot by side player.
Okay.
Lady luck, honestly. But yeah, the OpTic domestically in North America have a terrible win rate against eco rounds. They are one of the lowest teams in our tournament right now for being able to actually convert rounds when they're at a gun advantage. It's still 73%,
Right.
but most teams are up towards like 85, 90%. You know, they don't drop eco rounds, anti-eco rounds very often. OpTic have actually been way cleaner at that at Masters Reykjavík, but it might start to rear its head now that they're back in a domestic rivalry. There's just something about them playing against North American teams where the other NA teams are able to get the jump on OpTic and find those little moments.
Yeah, I mean, you fall back into predictable patterns.
Possibly.
Similar tendencies as well, given the history between both of these teams. Obviously, that goes both ways between them.
Yeah.
Familiar opponents on either side, but you know, OpTic calling this timeout as well, discussing exactly what they want coming into this next round, because the money is not ideal. Obviously, they saved a couple of the weaponry coming into that round, but yeah.
OpTic are also a lot weaker, I think, at their defense side of Haven. All of the great stuff I've seen, listen, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but all of the great stuff I've personally seen from OpTic on this map has been their attack side. How well coordinated they are with their utility and Victor setting up the entries. So I'm not really worried about them, even with only 4 rounds on the board here. I think for OpTic, there is still a chance they close this out 2-0, even if they lose the next 3 rounds in a row. So for OpTic, every round from here on is just good to get on the board, but possibly not even necessary. You're really looking at them in the second half to have that bite to their game.
Yeah, and the buy is a little bit scuffed here for OpTic, but obviously Victor does have his ultimate as well.
Look at Victor, actually, too. They are waiting for a flash into Garage. They've got to read that the guard are going for flashes into Garage frequently, and so Victor's got his face pressed up into the corner, with the idea being that when the flash comes in, Crashies would counter flash, and Victor would, I mean, either use his frenzy or pop his ultimate and kill those people who are coming in. But the guard are playing very slowly, very patiently here once again.
I think anticipating that there could be some sort
kind
of setup, trap play, especially when Victor has his ult online. I think OpTic in the past as well. Sometimes they do take that into account with some plays that they like to make.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should always be aware of your opponent's ultimates, because they're going to build a game plan around them. Great flash, pushes the A off the angle, all the way back towards A right now. And this, I think, is going to break the Garage setup too. Yeah, Victor, Crashies start rotating as they realize it's probably an A push.
Oh, Paranoia, fault line, flash over the top, the guard. They perfectly space it all out.
And FNS didn't even know where he died from, so he couldn't give that info to the rest of his team. Here comes Victor!
Victor just runs straight in, ultimate popped off, but shut down. Sire Player holding it close, and now up to Trent. Punish coming through, but the teammates. Sire Player just trying to watch his back, and at the same time, OpTic going to be wishing they had somebody watching theirs. Net with a beautiful look through mid.
The guard are finding a lot of success towards just popping into A. If they wait for long enough, then OpTic's early round A lobby control doesn't actually become as useful. They lose information towards there. And this play, as they hit the site, sets up Sire Player beautifully. The trade playing inside the smoke as well, making sure to punish Victor. Good lurk as well, says Valin, over towards net. Exactly what you pointed out, Brent. OpTic with low money right now. Gonna save this round to buy in the final, buy in round 12.
Yeah, looking towards that halftime switch. Obviously, they have to plan ahead with the money, the budget.
And the guard right now are looking like Zeta Division. Just so slow. Unwilling to take early map control, waiting patiently for any utility to come out from the defenders, and then pushing the players, or punishing the players rather, that are pushed up, as Victor goes for a play right now.
Yeah. This is where you could see potential for things to go wrong for them. Obviously, when you give up space like this and try to retake it, because OpTic, with the money situation, they're going to be taking a lot more risks. You can see it firsthand right here. Victor pushed all the way up, and they don't clear it. 2 shots rattled off. Weaponry found. He's going to escort that one back, and look at that. Whips out of the line of sight. Sire Player can't even take him out.
No chance. No, the best reflexes in the world couldn't hit that one.
And that's why sometimes it is dangerous to slow play against the ecos.
Of course. Of course, you've got, there is such a thing as having too much respect against an opponent. And OpTic have been allowed a lifeline here.
30
Round
seconds
11,
left.
they saved. Yeah, they're having one delivered to them. Ye's in a great position again. He knows exactly where Sire is, and they didn't clear the right-hand side. That is not just a thrifty, that's a flawless. OpTic were in control the entire time. Ye hitting shots, Victor pushed deep down mid.
Yeah.
What a difference that one makes.
Unsupported as well, but still able to rattle off the shots and make sure that you can find value. It's so dangerous going up against them as well. These eco rounds.
And Trent swings in short there, but just gives Ye the timing. Didn't even spot that one, actually. The FNS just...
through the smoke.
Yeah, predicted that. I mean, you know exactly where Sire Player is going to be playing there, and Ye's going to tell him that he updrafted. So this means OpTic have a chance to tie up the half, buying into the final round.
Let's play.
A deeper flash there. It's going to get them a lot of information. The Blade Storm Sire Player, the updraft, and the team wants to put and apply that pressure. Crashies just trying to sidestep it, and he's going to be giving up the site entirely. OpTic looking to play the retake here.
It's a good execute, but they've used a lot of utility, and OpTic have been able to save theirs. Still have a flash. Victor, I mean, FNS still with 2 of them as well. Golden Ultimate gets broken and sell back.
Yeah, just gets a bit of information of who might be playing now, I suppose, but the spam, Valen, is falling quite low. Now you see the engagement, Paranoia all the way through. Victor wants to just commit all of his stuns as well into it, but Trent just moves around the back. The spray control is immense. Has to lock this one through. Him and Net versus Ye, El Diablo. He'd love to clutch this one up for them, but when the Tour de Force is in play, it's almost an impossibility.
Extremely difficult for him to be able to pull out there. So it is a 7-5 half in the end for the guard, which I think is good, of course, and they've had the momentum for the majority of it. But overall, OpTic are going to be fairly happy about that too. With this retake, sure, it doesn't work for them because Trent comes up with a great play, but you can see how happy they are execing into sights.
Yeah, with the comp they're playing, it's...
And you heard it there. I don't know exactly whose voice that was. Winnable, guys, but I think that applies to both teams.
For sure, absolutely, and we've seen it statistically. OpTic, when they swap the sides here on Haven and get started on attack, they can be a real threat. Let's go to the desk to break down what we've witnessed thus far in that first half.
Brennan Sideshow, thank you so much. And the guard on their guard. Yes, they took the first half, Kukuka, but real close, Jess. I think we undoubtedly need to talk about Sire Player, though. I mean, he was leading the charge.
Yeah, totally. I think that between him and Net on the flank, just gathering those first kills and actually, you know, misleading a little bit of what OpTic could think. I'm really liking seeing a different Haven because I feel like in this competition we've seen a lot of Havens just focus completely on A, and these teams are giving us something completely different. It's not only that, I feel like the executes with Valen is providing so much value to the team still. And you know, following up on what our casters were saying, I don't think this is necessarily enough when we're talking, you know, not only about NA teams, but specifically about this too. And OpTic is not only that they're brilliant on the attack, it's like the other day against Surreal was something else.
Yeah, it really was, and I'm glad that you've pointed it out. We heard it was a Sideshow pointed out before.
OpTic is just feeding off Sideshow's stats.
Absolutely.
all the time, literally.
I mean,
he has one for every round.
I'll give you a little bit more specific. I'll go a bit more micro there for the audience. They usually only win 3 or 4 defensive rounds on Haven on average. This is OpTic, mind you. They've been able to best that ever so slightly, but besting it still shows us that there's a good opportunity. And then, of course, when they get onto their attacking side, things look pretty damn good. They win just over 60% of their attacking rounds. So if we weigh that up statistically, and we like to go with the stats, and we'll see if the script, you know, reflects that, it looks like there might be a close game into the second half. I actually think it comes down to the pistol in the second. I know it's weird to say that sometimes, but, you know, making up those rounds, even in the scoreline and going into a half where you are statistically more likely to win, that's pretty good for OpTic.
All right, well, let's get the second half underway. Going to toss it back to Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much. Yes, here we are, getting started here in the second half, and this pistol round, a vitally important one, Josh.
Exactly what the desk was saying, right? If OpTic are able to get this pistol, it draws them back. Look at the aggression coming out immediately. Sire Player with the frenzy, catches Ye. He is, of course, a demon on the pistol rounds. We've already seen it on both of the maps.
Yeah.
So that you could not find a better opener.
A frenzy in hand. Despite the fact that OpTic have lost their star player in the form of Ye, doesn't seem like they're disheartened. The contact play all the way into A.
What a wild contact play. FNS.
No noise.
Calling this one, and it's absolutely silent. And they are so deep before Net even realizes from his position in heaven.
Right into the corner, and now Victor Trying to play in hell here with the smoke popped off the stun to try and disrupt the Trailblazer, making sure it can't get any value, but this lurk now into mid by Marv. He's just trying to catch the perfect timing still. This retake, it's coming so rapidly. The trade is there as Trent will find Crashies, but where is Marv? The timing's just not quite there.
It's not there at all. Marv's lurks, they were impeccable on Icebox, but it's not going to work this time. The guard take an absolutely pivotal pistol. And listen, I'm not counting OpTic out of round 14 by any means, because we've seen some wildness with the Thrifties, but that in theory should put them up 9-5 with a fairly commanding lead before OpTic can even get guns online. That one is extremely crucial, and the guard are really happy with retakes. Both of these compositions trend quite execute heavy, but I'm using the word execute there rather than attack heavy because they're also really good for retakes.
Absolutely.
And on Haven, you're often going to be playing C for full retake, B for full retake, A for full retake. Not all at once.
I mean, we've seen so many of those retakes occurring as well.
Yeah.
The paranoia is cutting across the stuns.
And the teams are clinical with them. Absolutely clinical. Yay taken out as the first pick once again. Doesn't afford him any opportunity to impact these rounds with his Headhunter.
For OpTic, the only goal here is to maybe take out a bit of the weaponry and get that spike down. A bit more money available to them would be lovely.
Remaining.
The guard are finding it quite easy now to clean up all these targets that might be in front of them, including the flash. FNS actually managing to dodge that and get 2. Pretty good value in the end, I think, as well, considering the circumstances of the economy.
That makes a bit of a difference, that, actually.
Yeah.
They got the spike plant money, they get 2 of the guns away from the guard. But this is one of those rounds where I expect to see something bold come out from the guard. Let's have a look at Sideplay's peak here. Yay, like I said, opening kill in both of these rounds needs to be something that is adjusted. The way that OpTic play their attack half is that Victor is the one that makes the space, and Yay is the one that uses the space.
Yeah, it's
So-
often just a rapid takeover.
Yeah, they go for very fast burst plays with Victor and a lot of utility, and then Yay kills everybody that tries to recontest that area. So if you take Yay out early, that takes a lot of the mid to late round punch out of the round.
See a bit of a pause here. Being baited.
Yeah, I know. I was ready for that one to kick off, but I'm assuming this is a tactical timeout that the guard have called just at the last moment here.
Yeah, in time for them to take the time out, so...
And what are they discussing here? It might be some kind of bonus round strategy. And there's so many mind games when you come into stuff like this. Because if you're in OpTic's shoes and you're expecting the guard to run a really fast strat, do you try something creative yourself to push them out of their comfort zone? Do you just hold really passively and wait to absorb that? I think a very classic bonus round play that we've seen from the guard many times is stacking like 4 players towards A and just pushing A lobby, A long with a ton of people.
Yeah, the heavy A lobby push, it's something that they do all the time. And the timing of this time out is quite impeccable for them, considering. I mean, OpTic are going to be looking at this thinking, well, we had an idea coming into this of what they were going to be trying to do.
But now maybe it's changed, maybe it's shifted.
It could be completely different based on usual tendencies.
And this one is massive. If the guard are able to win this bonus round, the map, no matter how good OpTic's gun rounds in the attack half are, it might just be too large of a gap for them to catch up to. 5-6 rounds ahead, if you consider the economical implications, is pretty rough. So let's take a look. Round 15, the bonus for the guard. What have they got cooked up? Not going to be an A lobby push here. Instead, Sire with the knives heading down C long.
And they're meeting him head on. The paranoia dashes past the Trailblazer. And the final knife just to reset it. Sire player with 2. You have got to be kidding me.
That is such a good play. The fact he dodges the utility coming out from Crashies too. The dog takes a dive.
That's unbelievable.
And he just goes straight past
And they've got spike control.
Yeah.
It's dropped down. What a play to cook up. And Josh...
That's gorgeous. I mean, just coming straight out of the timeout too.
You've got to think about the mind games of this as well. You're thinking, bonus round, okay.
One enemy remaining.
Well, a little bit rough there, but got it eventually.
Net gets away with it, and Victor's left in a 1v5.
Victor left alone.
I mean, you just can't win these.
Never say never.
You just can't win
You've
these.
Yeah, never say never. He's found one.
I mean, there are 4 players all stacked up on top of the spike here, though. It is almost the most difficult situation you could be in for a 1v5, 1v4 kind of
I mean, in this scenario, you do just want to be saving the weapon, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, right? I mean,
30 seconds
eco
left.
rounds are much more effective when you have a single rifle. He's tempted to do a bit of economical damage, but the guard can still full buy next round, even if you killed all of them.
And look at the setup they've got as well. As soon as a player on the guard takes contact, okay. Flash doesn't get any information, but Jonapi's holding the stun, and enough players watching the angle that Victor doesn't get much done. And what a play to come up with as well. The guard, I mean, as well, if you're acutely watching the stream, you'll notice that the guard were leaning towards A on their bonus before they called the timeout.
Were they really?
Yeah, they were leaning towards A. The original plan was to push like they usually do. And it was a complete change to the other side of the map.
That's wild. I don't think I've ever really seen, I mean, that's a Korean Jet moment coming out from Sire player. He's 20-6 right now, controlling the game. I thought he'd be doing it on Icebox. That's normally his stomping grounds, but he's bringing it out here on Haven. And from OpTic, I feel like they haven't even had a chance to demonstrate how good they are on the attack rounds. That one was over in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The blink of an eye. And they've not been allowed to get into position to set up their execs. If you think back to what was working so well for OpTic against Xerxia the second time around, they would get in position, do a big C execute, and just wipe the floor with Xerxia by using so much utility. The guard are challenging them so early on.
And I think confidence is key with OpTic. We've seen it so many times. If the entirety of their team is feeling it, taking these duels, they look like an unstoppable force. But Sire player is in this map currently. 20 kills, 6 deaths, Josh.
Yeah.
20-6.
That is truly ridiculous. He's stepped up in a big way, and he's had some major moments on Haven throughout this year. And this map looks like another one of them. Seems like a bit more of a passive defensive setup with 15 seconds to go. And why wouldn't it be? I mean, OpTic, they don't really have anything here. They've got a Bulldog. It would have been nice for them to save that Vandal from the previous round. I think your call was correct there. But, you know, as a player, you never want to give up the chance of it happening. But it's not like they have any big ults to work with. No Tour de Force online. I mean, they don't have a Bladestorm, obviously, not running a Jet. And Victor 2 points away from his ult, too.
And how fast Sire player is able to take space there on top of the bricks to watch that angle down. But the anticipated contact play here by OpTic again. It's like another B-leaning play with the trademark destroyed. Trent is ready for it, but as the crossfire is enabled, OpTic are such a scary team. Rifle picked up, but eventually put back down again as Crashies is sent back to the respawn queue. Has to watch his team try and close out this round without him. Quick little swing!
What a push!
Beautiful win.
What a push, what a timing for Ye to find. And the flash, it catches Sire player even though they have no idea it did so. They must know that Sire player was playing over towards the A side of things.
What can he do, Josh, with this operator, man?
So difficult in a 1v2 clutch.
Gets the first one, does not know where the second player is. The updraft into the cloudburst. A little bit delayed in terms of the inputs, and it means that FNS knew exactly where he was. A thrifty win again for OpTic.
It's just wild. These teams are just going back and forth on the thrifties. They find so many opportunities, and I liked the guard setup. They had a trademark at the front of B. I mean, maybe we'll see it here. Yeah, trademark prompts a flash, but Crashies hits a gorgeous shot onto Trent, and then Jonah P just swings too far to try and punish Crashies.
Oh my god, nice round.
And you could, I mean, you can feel it, the relief on the OpTic players there.
I think that's exactly the emotion that they're feeling there. It keeps them close in the map.
Now Victor on this attack side, you can see the disrespect he's showing to his A lobby control. Still, it seems like the guard are ready for it. Trent was holding down that ankle. I think he was supplementing it with the flash that he had as well. And now using the dog just to clear through A long, ensuring that no player is going to be holding a deep angle there.
Looks like they're headed towards B once again, and they know what that defensive setup looked like. KO nade over in the corner from FNS.
But look at this, the setup that's being played here with the Rolling Thunder. Jonah P is ready for this. They're trying to play to disrupt this plant. And it gets tapped there by Crashies. They're trying to force out the ultimate. It's a bait by OpTic.
And they get everything. They're back through Garage.
This quick swing comes through to try to get these pickoffs. Still the guard. With an F's falling, Trent flashes through into the backside of it. Marved has to hold this down while Ye plants.
It looks like an amazing position, but they knew he was there.
And Marv 66 health. So much pressure on his shoulders now. Yay, able to hold down that garage angle with the operator. Quick little updraft as well. They're swinging from 2 different elevations. Yay has fallen. Marved into 1v2. He'd love to win this out for his team. 66 out, tries to go for the tap, but the swing timing again from Saya player. Amazing spacing.
Just perfect play from the guard in that 1v2 towards the end. Jonah P with a very small jiggle, and then Saya player Ferrari swings out as Jonah P backs off. Couldn't have played that angle better. But this round overall was beautiful from OpTic.
Yeah.
The idea that they had and the call from FNS.
Just that macro idea to bait and pull the ults out.
They read it perfectly.
It was great.
They knew exactly which players were going to be playing to defend B. They knew they were going to be playing retake. And they knew that that breach ult would get forced out.
But it didn't matter.
It didn't matter in the end, not one bit. And OpTic, 6-11 down right now, struggling to really find themselves a value on the executes, I think.
Well, Josh, you were talking about his tour de force usage. He's found a massive one. With that opening pick, Victor just running all the way into the back of the site. And Jonah P, okay. Just staring at the side profile of Crashies for a second, admiring it. And now you see the recontest, the flash. Right into mid. Marv just completely blind. Yado. A quick scope, has to whip out a headhunter as he stunned up, just right round, but not able to get his way out of that one.
And I really feel like Trent is starting to come online here in the later moments of this map.
Yeah.
He's 14-10 right now. Sure, not dominating the server, not top fragging. Saya's doing that by a long shot. But Trent's had these moments in these rounds where he's able to get aggressive and show us some of that flair that he's been so good at. This round, though, was on Jonah P. He just happened to be in the perfect situation.
Now, I don't know if that was our sync or if they were just BMing. Celebrating before they killed. Yeah, who knows? I mean, listen. It's good that they got the confidence, but
Map
insane
point.
map point for the guard on OpTic's map pick.
We've seen so far in this tournament many times people trading on map picks. Net a little late with the rendezvous, and OpTic find the first 2 openers.
The contact push through the smoke there. They knew that there could have been something happening.
Jonah P's got his breach ult up. The Rolling Thunder's online again. He only had that a couple of rounds ago, but he just farmed so many kills in the prior. Could end up making a difference right now. Look at the positioning from the guard, though. They're so far away. It feels like a save.
Yeah, insanely passive. They are just going to be saving.
3v4 when you have breach ult. If they were in position here, I think they'd go for it. But they're worried about the connectors.
Sure,
both
just in case
connectors
they
are being
took the-
controlled by OpTic.
Yeah.
And so as you try and get into position, you're probably going to get caught by Crashies, for example.
Oh, wow, the patience. Saya play knows. Another player just skipping a hop up into heaven. They are trying to hunt them. And yeah, if you just look, okay, Jonah P, that's not ideal when you want to
Jonah P
save the rifles, but listen.
tucking himself into a corner there and not quite making that one.
But I completely agree with you, Josh. If you purely look on paper at the economy, you would expect it like, oh, well, they can buy for next. Why not try and take some of the guns away, do a bit of damage for them? But when they don't have control of those extremities, and especially because OpTic are playing a composition where Victor can so quickly take space.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's the safe play when you're up 6
Quick
rounds.
feed, quick
Here's
trigger.
the A push.
Oh,
the one that I
this
was
is
talking
it.
about before from the guard. This is it coming out right here. 4-person push.
It's a quad push. And they've done it enough, but I believe the first time they pulled it out
In
in
this
this
map.
match. And this map. Yado trying to hold this one forwards, and here it is. The players, they just have the numbers advantage. The guards were able to just swarm it through, and they just leave Net to hold it low, and still as a lurk all the way through. Net just a quick swing, has the TP, but FNS has done the wiser.
Down B.
And what a play. It's such a classic. Straight from the playbook of the